Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and greetings to all. My name is Imanina Afni binti Muhammad Kidzir. My ID number is A200451. I am from Group 8 and the title for our group project is Bugs Are Trustworthy in Forensic Science. Without further ado, I'm going to pass it to my partner Kai.
See this fly? It's a florid fly, also known as a coffin fly. Flies like these provide crucial evidence in solving mysterious deaths.
Insects never lie. Insects are tiny witnesses. With my job as forensic entomologist, I use these tiny witnesses to give justice to victims.
Wired spoke with Dr. Paula Magni to understand how insects can be used to help solve suspicious deaths.
Hello everyone, my name is Kai. So I will start our presentation with the history of bugs in forensic science. The first recorded incident where insects were used in a criminal investigation was in the 13th century of China, as described in the Sun Tzu book called The Washing Away of Wrongs. When a farmer, in this case, what happened was when a farmer was found murdered in a field with a sharp weapon, all the suspects were taught to place their sickles on the ground, and the investigator actually found out that the victim had been slashed repeatedly. The investigator suspected the murder weapon was a sickle, a common tool used in the rice harvest. But the real question here is that how could the murderer be identified, since there is no technology and there is so many workers carry those common tools. So what the local magistrate did is that they brought all the workers together and told them to lay down their sickles, and then only one sickle attracted a blowflies to the track amount of blood hidden in the neck eye, which resulted in the confession of the murderer. Next, I will be talking about forensic entomology and also the types of bugs that are used in Malaysia. So in forensic entomology, a diverse array of insect species plays a crucial role in providing valuable insights into the timeline and also circumstances surrounding the death investigation. So in Malaysia, basically we have Chrysomia megacephala and also Chrysomia ruficensis. These are two dominant blowfly species representing forensic entomofauna in Malaysia.
Thank you, Kai. Let's move on to the life cycle of one of the commonly used bugs in Malaysia's entomology forensics, which is flies. First and foremost, the timing of when does a fly come to a crime scene cannot be confirmed when investigating a crime scene. However, knowing the life cycle of flies will actually help the process of entomology analysis. Initially, under optimal conditions where temperature is 25 degrees Celsius warm or higher, the fly life cycle stages from fertilized egg to adult fly spans take 7 to 10 days, as temperature plays an important role in determining the completeness of a fly's life cycle. To add, the life cycle of a fly consists of 4 stages, which starts from egg to larvae, pupa, and lastly adult fly. Since larval forms, always morphologically distinct from adults, also occupy different habitats, flies in fact live 2 days distinct lives and thus are able to adapt successfully to environmental changes, while maggots can tell manner of death, whether case about a rape, cum murder, suicide, burned, or etc. Initially, flies has lots of species, which known as forensic flies. There are species that love fresh dead bodies, species who come to dead bodies late as they may eat less, or those that comes to lay eggs only, and so on. Meanwhile, other insects that can be found at a crime scene also help with entomology analysis, as some insects like beetle colonize a dead body late as a body frame can become shelter for them. Simply said, there is fauna succession in every occasion. Plus, the insect's preferences also matters, which can be analyzed based on the liking of the insects, like outdoor or indoor environment and aquatic or urban places. Now I'm going to pass it again to Kai to explain further about how bugs actually help in solving murder cases.
This is one of the examples of how to do fly breeding. We're gonna need rare container, modified lid, and food, which is also known as the bait. First, we take the bait, put it on top of the lid so that the fly can lay its eggs on top of it. The common housefly lays eggs that resemble grains of white rice. And within 24 hours of being laid, maggots emerge from the eggs. These maggots or fly larvae look like tiny pale white worms, as maggots do best in an environment of decay. As forensic entomology is the study of insects or arthropods in criminal investigation, insects are attracted to decomposing bodies and can lay their eggs inside of one. Studying the developing larval stages and insect population can help forensic scientists get a post-mortem index, also known as time of death. They are also able to tell if a body has been moved. Moving on to the first stage, also known as fresh stage. Within 1 to 2 days after death, the first insects start arriving. Blowflies and flesh flies can be found arriving just minutes after death. The second stage, which is the bloated stage, within 2 to 7 days after, the abdomen of the decomposing body inflates and internal temperatures start to rise due to arthropod activity. The greatest number of Diptera or flies are attracted at this stage. The third stage is decay stage. Within 5 to 13 days after, the body deflates and some of the Diptera larvae leave the carcass to pupate. Post-decay stage is the last stage. Within 10 to 23 days after, most larvae leave and the body become a hotspot for arthropod activity. Now let's watch some TikTok videos from CSI Hadley, who has done a few forensic entomology experiments on her own.
Okay guys, this has been out for about 15 minutes and I already have my first visitor, a little blowfly there. You can tell it's a blowfly because it's iridescent on its top. They usually show up within about 10 to 15 minutes of something being dead and exposed. Update on forensic entomology experiment, body farm. We have bugs. Yesterday there really wasn't very many and they must have just all laid their eggs like on the inside. But you can see we've got a little maggot mass going on. You can tell they're maggots because they're moving. They were eggs, they would not be moving. Check back tomorrow for day 4. Sorry, there was no update yesterday, but basically because there was nothing going on to show you guys. It looks like we have beetles. They've shown up. Day 3, 4 in normal conditions. That is pretty standard when they're gonna show up. You kind of see our big guys hanging out down there, but our maggot mass down there in the right-hand corner is still going strong. Still moving, that's great. It's been about 97 degrees on average here all week, very sunny. We had a little bit of rain either last night or the night before, and that might explain kind of the mushiness, but also since it's in a container and it's not able to really seep into the ground, I'm wondering how that's gonna affect sort of the dehydration process of the putrefaction and the decomposition of this body. Well, quote unquote body, chicken hindquarter really. You can see that the bone is starting to become more exposed, so that's a good sign. And what I'm gonna do with those maggots is I'm just gonna kind of watch them and see when they are done feeding, they're gonna, what we call pupate, they're gonna kind of get sort of a cocoon around them. They're gonna go burrow first. They're gonna go burrow, sort of hide, they're gonna pupate, so the area around them is gonna harden, and that's when they're gonna become a fly, and eventually they'll break out of that, and they'll just kind of continue this life process over and over and over until this chicken hindquarter is completely decayed.
Moving on, I will discuss about how bugs actually helps us in solving a murder cases. Basically, bugs can tell us a lot of death. For example, just as the flies are drawn to food that left out, flesh-eating bugs are also attracted to human corpses. And this is the use of insect evidence to help the forensic investigators to determine what happened to the body. To explain more, by studying the life cycle of blowflies that was found on the corpse, the entomologists can estimate the PMI, or what we call as the time of death. Moreover, the presence and distribution of insect activity on the corpse can also give evidence on insights into the movement on the corpse, manner and cause of death, and also potential association of suspect at the death scene. And for this, I will explain more. So we can see that the insect activity on a certain part of the body may indicate that those areas were covered or protected, in which suggesting that there is a manipulation of corpse after the death.
Now, based on Kai's explanations, we should know that the distribution of bugs like flies are not confined to ground level, but they can also be at higher altitudes. There are examples of cases that use entomology analysis in forensic investigations for high-rise buildings in Malaysia. The first case involved the corpse of an adult female that was found at the top floor of a 15-story apartment. The second case also involved the corpse of an adult female which found at the top floor of a 13-story public building. The third case involved a body of a 75-year-old female which discovered in a bedroom on the 11th floor of an 18-story building, and the fourth case involved a 50-year-old male which found in his 5th floor shop house. Respectively, not all pictures of crime scenes can be projected as they are strictly confidential for police investigations only. Well, furthermore, based on Dr. Shamsa Riza Abdullah, one of the entomologists in charge in the entomology analysis of the cases, corpses were infested with Similadapterans, which are flies that are prone at higher places. Plus, Dr. Shamsa stated that additional occurrence of blowflies like Chrysomya megacephala and Chrysomya rufefecis larvae involved in case 3 and case 4. Finally, the study explained that bugs like flies can significantly help in locating dead bodies, even at high-rise buildings. To conclude, the diverse uses of insects in forensic science extend beyond mere time of death estimation. They provide crucial insights into crime scenes, indicating potential body movements, disturbance by perpetrators, wound analysis, drug presence, suspect placement, and even cases of abuse or neglect. While incredibly valuable, it's essential to recognize the limitations of forensic entomology in certain contexts. Now, that is all from both of us. Thank you for watching.